Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back, and welcome to all the new subscribers. So I wanted to do a video on that I wasn't trusted with winning the lottery. And this is my perception and my understanding, and what I've come to realize was, yes, I was not trusted with having a huge amount of money. So that might sound weird. Maybe people can relate to it or see what I'm talking about. I'll give you a little backstory. Like when I was growing up and all my life, I knew my mom was always buying lottery tickets. My aunt, her sister, also would buy lottery tickets, and she would keep track on this notepad and try to figure out, okay, here's the winning numbers, here's, how they show up, this is, the consistency or the frequency of what numbers and what place and all that stuff. And she never won either. I don't even know if she won anything small, but yeah, it was always a thing when I was a kid. Oh, hopefully we'll win. Let's go buy a lottery ticket. And they were usually, I think they still are, just $1 each in America. And I've lived in other countries, and they are, or were, like 10 years ago, at least $5 each, if not $10 per ticket. So you're putting out a decent amount of money that probably might not turn into anything, but at least in America, it's only $1. So, and there's a saying, if you're not going to win if you don't play. So, and people do win, they'll talk to people, they'll interview people on TV or whatever. There's people who have won multiple times in tiny little towns, and it's a whole thing. It's a phenomenon. They can't figure out, why, this one person, and it might be someone elderly, and, they have their house, they don't need money, they're just, retired, living out their lives, doing their stuff, and they just keep winning the lottery, which is the weirdest thing. But, so yes, it was always a thing, my mom buying lottery tickets, like I said, my aunt and her rituals. And so when I was out on my own, yeah, I would buy lottery tickets every now and then, sometimes every week. I would buy them every week. And you go back to the place, at least back then, this is like 30 years ago, and you take it back and they scan it to see if you won anything. Nowadays, I think you can look online, or there might be a phone number that you call that gives winning numbers every week or whatever. And so yeah, I might have won maybe $1 here and there. So, that makes you feel good. It's like, well, I put out $1, so I got $1 back. And so you come out even. Or maybe I got $20 one time. I can't even remember. But, as many times as I was buying and just hoping, and oh my gosh, it never happened. But as I got older, and then when I became an official Christian 13 years ago, you really look at things differently. Money, finances, just, what God is entrusting you with. He provides all the time, even if you don't have the highest paying job in the world. But you have a roof over your head, you have food and electricity, and everything that you need. You have clothes to wear, you have your health, friends and family, all those things. And we are taken care of and provided for and all of that. And so when I would start to think about those things, it's like, well, okay, there was a reason why I never won the lottery, and my mom never won, or I should say my parents. and they got into a whole bunch of financial problems. I think I have a video back a few months about learning your financial struggles or bad things, basically, from like in your childhood, from your parents. I'll try to find that video and I'll link it in the description box. And yeah, so I know one person who won. I grew up in really rural Oregon, and one lady on the road, this windy, desolate road that we lived out on, she won. I don't know anything other than that, like what happened after that. But yeah, so what I have realized, and let me read a Bible verse that I kind of have in the back of my head, and I think the Holy Spirit was telling me, to refer to this, and, it makes sense. So, I mean, of course, the Bible makes sense. So it's in Luke, the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, verse 48, and it's the second part of 48, like some people might say 48b. So it says, this is Jesus talking. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. So what I get from that is, if you're given a lot by God, whatever circumstances, your work or winning the lottery, then much is required of you. And so, and my history with finances and bills and debt and money is not good. So, and I will admit that. And I'm going to do a series on learn from my mistakes. That'll be coming up, oh gosh, probably, I don't know, in the next month, let's say. And but yeah, I don't have a good track record. Now, where I'm at now in my 50s, I have learned a lot. I had to go through a lot, and, not fun things, not good, pleasant things, to learn about finances and what to do and what not to do. And yeah, I definitely could get myself into a lot of financial trouble, which I did. And so I think, wow, I guess I was not trusted with a large amount of money. I wasn't trusted with winning the lottery, which is fine. It wasn't meant to be. I mean, who knows? Maybe someday I might buy a ticket and maybe I'll win something, but because I tell God now, in the last several years, when I was still buying lotto tickets, I would say, do you want me to donate half of it, which I have no problem doing, or do you want me to donate all of it? And so I would be praying about it, talking to him about it, and just seeing, hey, if I'm trying to make an agreement with them, hey, if I win, I promise I will donate half of it or 3/4 of it, 75% or whatever. But, it hasn't happened. So, which is fine. We are provided for. We have a place to live. We have plenty of food, all of that. We have electricity and all those things. So we don't need anything. And even if there are things like we have one car right now, but we don't need a second one. And, just all the things. I don't need a whole new wardrobe. We don't need to go on some huge trip around the world or whatever it is. There's wants and needs, and what we need, we are provided for and taken care of. And so anyways, I hope that makes sense. That's the conclusion I came to, is that, wow, yeah, I'm really bad with money. I definitely was in the past. I'm much better now. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any issues now with debt. Thank goodness. But yeah, so hopefully that makes sense about how I feel like I came to the conclusion that I wasn't trusted with winning the lottery. And maybe God knew what was going to happen. Like if I did win, maybe even though I said, oh no, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll donate, whatever, maybe something would have happened and I didn't do that or wouldn't have done that, which I hate to think that because I really try to stick with what I say that I will do, that I do it. So anyways, I'll talk to him someday in heaven about that or whatever. But yeah, let me know if that makes sense. If you guys feel the same, or if you know anyone who's won a lottery or anything like that, I think it's always interesting. So I will see everyone in the next video. All right, God bless.